Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the XCL series. This is, of course, a good old Friday night broadcast brought to yours truly, brought to you by yours truly, Alexi. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, and we shall be getting in the lobby any moment soon, as I am just getting the information on which server we shall be in, and then we shall get underway. If you're new here, this is the Xbox Community League, where we have some good old ACC daily events in the XCL series to improve driver ratings. And of course, it is time to go racing around the good old server of good old Zolder, which is of course located in Germany. So of course, if you're new here, quick format for you guys here in Germany. It of course being the good old Zolder circuit with a 10-minute practice session with 7 minutes 40 seconds remaining as we now enter, and we will go into a 15-minute quali and a 30-minute race right after, as we're currently watching Tim, and we will see what he can do as Eresh and Sylph is there on the leaderboard on the left hand side. If you remember last night around Kyle Army, of course, that being on the Thursday the 25th of January, today is Friday the 26th of January, both being in 2024, Sylph would win the Kyle Army Open race around that circuit. So we will have to wait and see what will happen there, as currently watching Tim currently going through the chicane at Zolder, looking to keep it nice and clean. We'll see what he can do, as because it's practice, we'll get the good old camera angle, what we love to see, especially because it works really well with the leaderboard on the left hand side. Of course, when it comes to the race, we'll have some good old offboards, but during quali and the race, because they're going to be going pedal to the metal, we'll see what they can do during these practice and qualifying sessions, and see what will happen out of everything and anything. Of course, anything and everything can happen around this beautiful German circuit, as we're going to head through this left-hander here, and it is a beautiful left-hander, nice and clean, nice and tight, as it is a clockwise circuit. One of the few many circuits on the ACC game either being anti-clockwise or clockwise, as Fuzzy Binks, the man who will get a beautiful move done at the exit in turn 1 on the final lap yesterday, he'll look to impress once again. What about Sylph in the Porsche 443 on the car? He is going to look to impress once again after that mega win yesterday, and we'll stick on board with him to see what he can do throughout this entire lap. So let's get it going. Let's hop into this box and let's see what these boys can do, as please do bear with me whilst I get the Discord notifications out that I am live. So I shall shut up and let Sylph take you around the Zolder circuit. So yeah, we're going to see what these boys can do, as Sylph gets set a lap time. So I believe he has just come out of the pit lane. Let's see what he can do. 4 minutes 12 seconds left in this qualifying session. Currently getting asked by my team in VF1, but heck ho. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is XCL. If you're just tuning in on Twitch, thank you for dropping by. We're currently in the practice session with just over 3 minutes to go. So please do stand by whilst I just get all this sorted. I do apologise, but I should really have all this sorted before the stream, but it's kind of just one of those things. I was too busy playing Minecraft. Okay, I was too busy playing Minecraft. Yeah, I know I'm a nerd. I was too busy playing Minecraft and I kind of lost track of time, so I'm just getting all this stuff sorted right now. So I'm just going to let the guys in the Discord know, as Stream Boy tells me to have a hydrate and a posture check. Thank you very much. Honestly, I need that posture check because... Okay, yeah, I just cracked my back. Okay, just shows how bad my posture is. I'll get that hydrate done in just a second for your good sire. Honestly, Stoke, I haven't been getting any messages through as Sylph is yet... Does Sylph keep on invalidating? Does Sylph keep on invalidating this, guys? Can I help in comms box? Sadly not, Stoke, as it's just me tonight, and honestly on ACC I do prefer it to be just me, so sorry Vowels if you know, as Sylph teleports back to the pit lane, as Hushed Webb looking to have a better race than he did yesterday. Oh, my apologies, that was very rude of me. As of course, ladies and gentlemen, get your predictions in the chat. If you're new here, this is the XCL Racing Series. If you would wish to join, just let me know and it will be in the good old Twitch chat. Or if you're watching on YouTube, it will be in the description of this video, which will be up very shortly after this stream concludes. Heading into the chicane here, Hushed Webb looks to have a better result than he did yesterday, as he has just come out of the pit lane. So we'll see what he can do in this free practice session before we go into a 15-minute qualifying with 1 minute and 25 seconds left to go. So let's wait and see what this man will do. So let's see what Hushed Webb can do, as I'm going to try and get used to this Zolder circuit, as many people So yeah, my bad. Just had to check something real quick. So heading through turn 1, which is the left-hander, turn 2, which is the right-hander, and then in a long turn 3 into a somewhat tighter turn 4. Gonna see what Hushed Webb can do, as he will look to improve. Of course, it's not qualifying; it's just free practice, but it gives us a very good idea on where they will be in this qualifying session. Very deep into that chicane, but absolutely nails the apex. Absolutely nails the second apex, heading through the chicane, through the long left-hander, into a lot tighter chicane and a lot longer chicane. Right, then left, keep it nice and clean. You exit the chicane, right into another right-hander, and we will see what we can do. Another long right-hander, and then a long left-hander as you enter sector 3. As we're going to head down towards the heavy braking zone into the right-hander. Very tight, practically a hairpin. But it doesn't go right back on itself. It's a very tight right-hander, little kink left, little kink right. Then a nice long straight towards the final chicane. Of course, this track having plenty of chicanes braking just before those cones. See there on the left-hand side, hitting the chicane, hitting both of those beautiful apexes. Free practice is now over, so the checkered flag will fall for the number 5 McLaren as he goes across the line. Hushed Webb will only go P22, being 6.669 behind the leaders. So we'll have to wait and see what these lads can do in the qualifying here at Zolder. Many drivers still on track by the looks of it, as we'll see. Sylph is in the pits, Dronelander is out on track. What can Dronelander do? Currently P26. looking to improve, and it's going to be quite tight as Drone Lander, decent driver in my opinion from the amount of time that I've been here. So left-hander, right-hander, nail both of those apexes. Bit later on the acceleration than I believe Hushed Webb was, but that may actually work better for him. The Porsche is going to come across the line. Ferrari, I should say, is going to come across the line. He will go P5 as the qualifying session will now get underway. So we'll see what these lads can do as Airesh, who is first out on track. It will be Airesh, very good in qualifying, this man. So let's see what he can do at the start of qualifying, which is of course 15 minutes long. If you're just tuning in now, welcome to the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Zalexi_. If you're watching on YouTube, that will be linked in the description of this video, as we're going to look to see what these lads can do and who will get the advantage into the main race. The main 30-minute race, which will happen straight after qualifying. Of course, if you're new around here, format is that it will be a 15-minute quali, 30-minute race. But of course, you also have one mandatory pit stop during the race to pit for fuel. So you see many drivers pitting early, many drivers pitting within the last 10 minutes, some even within the last 5. So it really comes down to what everything can. It really comes down to where everything can be decided and where everything will stock up and stack up. As we had a bit of a retail reference there apparently. I didn't even mean to do that, as it's Ronaldo99. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great evening. Of course, looking at the people who have followed since I was last live. Matt C837, thank you for the follow. And Andrea Creti, thank you for the follow. And Sprightly, thank you for the follow. 226 followers. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. We're on that road to 300. And doing this and doing commentary like this as a full-time career. Of course, hopefully one day making it to the real-life GT series, such as World Endurance Championship, or maybe even Formula 1. As we're going to head through the first few corners into Sector 2 we go. Memento Massio, thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Hope you are having a great day. How's your evening been going, mate? 227 followers. Thank you for that, and I greatly appreciate you. 12 minutes 42 seconds left in this qualifying session as we head into the second chicane around here at Zolder. Of course, 3 being the correct amount that we have around this beautiful circuit in Germany. As we're going to head through the long left-hander into the tight right-hander, which is practically a hairpin. As you put the pedal to the metal through the left-right kink, and we're going to head down towards the final chicane and see and to try and get the best lap time. Number 4 on the BMW. We'll see what we can do as this chicane can really be the nail in the coffin for some drivers, as we're looking at a 1:26 maybe a little bit slower than that, maybe a 1:30 across the line. Airesh goes 1:29.792. Sylph, winner from last night, instantly beats that 1:29.448. That'll put Airesh 3.4 seconds behind the leader. What about Glow Stakes? Great driver as Funny Light 6234 goes across the line to set a new fastest lap time, 1:29.226. As I just had to catch my breath there a second, Glow Stakes, very good in qualifying in that Sky liveried car. Personally, I'm a Freeview fan, as we're going to see what he can do as we're going to head towards the line. 1:29, definitely not the fastest. He will come across the line, but he will put himself up to P9. That is inside the top 10. What about Drone Lander? Lots of traffic ahead, but that may also incorporate some slipstream as well as some dirty air, as he will slow down as it looks like he looks to go for a lap time the next time round. Melmsey currently on a lap. You can see him pushing his car to the limit. 444 on that Porsche. Very decent race yesterday in my opinion. So we'll see if he can capitalise this evening around Zolder. As Funny Light and Sylph currently fastest 1 and 2 right now. They'll be side by side on the rolling start if it stays as it is. Melmsey in the 444 Porsche. 10 minutes 30 seconds left in this qualifying session. We are already one third of the way through as he will look to capitalise, as this chicane right here can make or break his qualifying session. 1 minute 29, 1 minute 28.812 as Eresh has gone fastest. My apologies, I missed that, as Melmsey will only go P4 as Eresh has currently gone pole. 1 minute 28.812 again. That puts funny light for that, as actually Abako goes and beats him, going P2 with being less than a tenth behind the fastest man on track, which is Eresh in that number 4 BMW. So the German car is on pole for the German race, as it looks like a bit of collisions there maybe, as we'll see, as it looks like Melmsey had some major traffic there. Look, that looks to be another Porsche who was in his way. So we'll see if anybody else further down the grid is yet to set a lap time. Sabre in the Forza Ferrari, looking to get some revenge from yesterday, as he had a decent race but will get overtaken on the final lap of the Kyalami Grand Prix. Of course, if you want to watch that, that is up on the XCL TV YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to click on the profile and you can watch it from there, as it looks like Sabre will mess up his lap time. Don't know if that was an invalidation or not, might have been. He will go across the line only up to P18, 2.9 seconds behind the leader. As we look to hard luck, having some hard luck maybe with the steering of that Porsche, as it looked like he was having it right there, looking to come out of the pit lanes with that slower lap time you can see on the board. Same with Black. What about pull? I can't say it. I got told the pronunciation yesterday. Pulcinello. I got it correct this time. Pulcinello is going to look to capitalise. 1 minute 5 heading into this tight right-hander. Going to try capitalise towards the end. Pulcinello seemed to have a somewhat decent race last night, so we'll see what he can do as he looks to get his car pretty high up in qualifying. But it looks like it's not going to be the greatest lap time, as he is 1 minute 25 seconds coming out of the final corner. What can he do across the line? It will be 1 minute 32.2. That will put him P22. Hard luck, still having some hard luck, so we'll come back to him later on. What about Dash 2108? Didn't know this guy was from The Incredibles, because heck, we got Dash in there, but we'll have to wait and see if he really is Dash or if he is just washed, as he is in the Porsche number 12 on that car. We'll see what can happen, as Jake in plan had a decent race yesterday. His plan would prevail, as he would, I believe he got on the podium last night, as Dash 2108 lets the McLaren 720S past. So it looks like he is not aiming for the fastest lap time here, but looking to get a banker lap in, as many people may not actually set lap times, so a banker lap may be actually worth it to set. As we're going to head towards the line now, going to be a slower lap time, but it'll be a banker lap time, as he will go slowest of all, being 6.935 behind the leaders, which we're just going to double check if anything has happened up top, which no, it is still Eresh and Xbako still top two, with everybody else being over 2 tenths behind Eresh. What about hard luck? Hard luck, not looking to improve. However, it may do here. Looks like the acceleration on that Porsche is absolutely amazing. Hard luck goes across the line. He will only go up to P20, being 2.3 seconds behind the leaders. What about Devils? What can he do, as he is on a slow lap, so he will not improve. Jake in plan, Stig, Josh and Black all yet to set a lap time. They are currently sitting inside of the pit lane. So Eresh is the man out on track, and he is the man on pole as we approach that 6 minutes remaining mark here in Zolder, qualifying in these lovely GT cars. Of course, we have a system here on my Twitch channel during qualifying and the practice race. We go inside the cockpit to see what the drivers can do as they hone their skills, and then we will go off board so you guys can catch all the racing action here for the XCL off board, and you can see all these lovely moves that they do. One thing to think of would be Fuzzy Binks getting a major move done on the final lap last night, at Kyalami on Sabre. So we'll have to wait and see what these people are going to do as the 269 of Fuzzy, as we were speaking about him. 0.474 seconds behind the leaders in qualifying right now, with just over 5 minutes remaining. He is currently P6. So let's see what he can do as he looks to slow down, revitalise himself, power up that car, and take it all the way to the checkered flag. Let's see what Fuzzy can do as he brings his Forza Ferrari. The Italians versus the Germans. The Ferrari looking to get the advantage and get the pole here in qualifying in enemy territory. Let's see what he can do. Fuzzy Binks, the 269 Scuderia Ferrari, looking to go through Zolder, through turn 1, through turn 2, keeping it nice and clean, using the apex on the outside, using the apex on the inside, and absolutely nailing his line into the right-hander of turn 4 as we head down towards the first chicane. Of course, these chicanes around here making it so your lap time can either be made or broken, as anything can happen as he gets that first chicane absolutely nailed, heading through I believe turn 7 actually, because the chicane 7, 8, 9, 10 completed. I believe, yeah, chicanes count as 2 corners, so that is my bad. Through turn 11, heading down through the king of turn 12, and heading down through to the tight right-hander of turn 13, which can be unlucky for some, such as the number 72, which you can see off the track just there, as Funny Lie has gone fastest, 1 minute 28.626. Sorry, we missed that. Fuzzy Binks looking to improve on his lap time as we approach 3 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Fuzzy Binks in the Scuderia Ferrari will look to improve as he crosses the line, only up to P4 though, being 3/10 behind Funny Light, the man who's currently on pole. What about Aresh? What can Aresh do as he's going to make his way down towards the final chicane? If he can absolutely nail it, he might be on for a good lap here, as this camera angle does not prove the best, with a 1 minute 25 coming out of the chicane. Gonna put the pedal to the metal. What can the Aresh in the Porsche do? Sounds like an air freshener. Does not improve. He stays P2 for the time being. What about X-Baco? He's currently going through turn 12, heading into turn 13. We'll see what he can do. Tight right-hander of turn 13, quick left-right of turn 14 and 15. Many may just class it as a straight, but I class it as 2 separate corners through the per the real-life classification into turn 16 and turn 17. Absolutely lovely. 1 minute 24 out of the chicane. What can he do? He aims for pole. He will not get pole, I believe, as he is unable to improve. As we see a car there going spun around, going a little bit of a spinella, and he will not improve his lap time. VCX Racing, what can he do going into the next chicane? He is currently sat P9 in his number 28 BMW GT3. Slow lap time, as you can see on the board on the left hand side board there, so we're not going to see what he can do. What about Hot Shot? Hot Shot trying to call his shot as he's coming out of the pit lane by the looks of it. He will probably not get to the line in time as he goes off the track. What about Sabre? Of course, he's going to be pissed about getting overtaken on the last lap last night in Kyalami, down in South Africa. Through the left-hander, through the right-hander, absolutely nailing the chicane. Went airborne there momentarily by the looks of it, as we could see the car jostling about 3 minutes 2 on the board right there. He will definitely not improve. What about Arthur Putin? He will get a major rear end wobble. Doesn't look like he will improve. He might get up the order though, if he can improve his lap time, but it doesn't look like it, as he is 1 second behind the leader, and he is 1 minute 25 going into the final chicane. He's not having the best of time, neither is Hard Luck, currently P21 out of this qualifying session. Well, not out, but you know what I mean. X-Baco maybe looking to improve, 1 minute 31.2, he does not. Fuzzy Bings looking to go faster and faster. What about Sylph? He's currently P5, the checker flag will fall in 30 seconds. So we'll see what these guys can do here in qualifying, as Sylph coming through turn 4 right now. And let's see what these lads can do. Heading down towards this double chicane right here. Well, not a double chicane, the first chicane. Nice and clean, keeping it tight. Maybe a little touch of the curb on the outside, does not go for it. As we now enter the woodland of the German countryside. Heading into the second chicane of turn 9 and turn 8 and 9 into turn 10. Then into turn 11. 55, you can see on the board there, just under a minute as he heads through turn 4, through turn 12, and then 1 minute free as you head into turn 13. Tim will have the checkered flag fall. He will go P3 as Aresh Kurula P2 with Funny Light P1 as they are both in the pit lane. What about Sylph? What can Sylph do in his double 4-3 Porsche? Coming around the chicane, absolutely nailing on the exit. He looks to be on for an improvement of a lap time. Straight out goes across the line, does not improve. 1 minute 29 on the dot. 1 minute 29 dead. Fazzy Binks in the pit lane, X-Bacco in the pit lane, Tim in the pit lane, and Funny Light in the pit lane. The top 5 all in the pit lane, the top 6 all in the pit lane, top 7, top 8, turn top 9. Vandalo will look to improve after a bad showing last night at Kyalami. So we'll see what he can do. The number 1 on the car, not number 1 right now. Honestly, I would find that a bit controversial, as we're going to see what can happen heading through turn 11 into turn 12. Well, that is qualifying over. He will not improve. It is Funny Light on pole position in the 112 McLaren. He will have Aresh alongside him. It's then Tim, X-Bacco, Fazzy, Sylph, Brett, Melmsey, Bandolo and Illuminato in the Ferrari 57 rounds out the top 10. It's then VCX Racing, NNT, Hot Shots, Rasputin, Sabre, Supercross, Fella, Piexto, Fish and Peter will round out the top 20. Of course, we can't see any further down the top 20 because we can't go down the order like you can on the F1 game. But honestly, this is way more suitable for us commentators who like to do a good old broadcast day. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get going very soon. Get your predictions in the YouTube comments who's going to win, or if you're here on Twitch, get them in the Twitch chat so we can see them live, and we will see if your predictions were correct. But nice manufacturers in the top 10. Yes, some nice manufacturers in the top 10. As hello Clorpt, welcome in. As I hate to do this to you guys, but you know it's so you don't get any during the race. But ladies and gentlemen, as we wait to go racing, we will see you guys after the break. Seconds. 20 seconds. And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back from the break. We now have a prediction up in the Twitch chat, which will last for majority of this race. Of course, you can get your votes in to wonder what manufacturer will win this good old Zolder Grand Prix, as the drivers will make their way all the way down will make their way through the grid order and who will get the advantage as we will look to the back of the grid as we can see the rest of the drivers continue on and drive away from the grid. Of course, while the formation lap is underway, we shall remind you of some rules that, of course, take place here in the main race during the formation lap, and towards the end it is double file rolling start, and you got to make sure you are in position, otherwise it is either a drive through or a 30-second stop and go penalty for being out of position at the start of the race. It is then, of course, as we look to Funny Light there, who is currently the leader and leading us away, so it's going to be quite interesting to see what will happen there as we look to see what will happen and everything that will happen. As, like I was going to say just before, one pit stop is so double file on the start, of course. And of course, what else would there be? Oh wait, you got to make, because it's a 30-minute race, you have to make at least one mandatory pit stop for fuel. We've seen it all week. Some people may stop early for fuel, some people may stop within the last 5 minutes. However, you got to be careful, as we saw yesterday, penalties can also happen at any point in the race with, I believe it was, who was it last night? Who was it? I believe it was some driver got I can't remember his name. I am so sorry. I should have done more research before the start of this race. My apologies as we wait and see what will happen in this race. But of course, stop and go penalties can be accumulated at any point in this race and can throw your race out of the window and maybe even cost you the race win. But you see all the drivers there as we go through turn 12, as we go through turn 13, and at this point all the drivers will look to set up in double file, as you see the drivers doing it very nicely and doing it very well behaved, as we got many drivers in many different liveries, in their many custom liveries, making their way towards the grid. Funny Light will lead us away as we look to wait and see what will happen here on the opening lap around Zolder. Come on lads, keep it nice and clean. The 1-1-2 of Funny Light with Airish alongside will lead us all the way to the green light and lead us to the start of the race as they wait for the green light.
Green light, go, go, go.
And the green light is on and away we go. All the drivers will now head down towards turn 1. Mini jostling of positions happening further back as Funny Light and Airish will battle all the way through this. On lap 1, through turn 1 they go. Maybe through turn 2, keep it nice and clean. You can see Fazzy Binks trying to make some moves down there. On the outside maybe going 3 wide between the drivers. Just behind Fazzy Binks, the 296 Ferrari going wheel to wheel, side by side there with X-Baco. Little bit of contact on the rear, right? You don't want to be Lewis Hamilton, in other words, hashtag blessed. As we're going to head down towards the first chicane as Hard Luck has a drive-through penalty. I believe that was being out of position on the race start as Airish being too low to the ground. He will go airborne as the game ain't doing the best thing for us, as Airish, currently P2, may get overtaken through the chicane. Airish trying to keep it nice and clean, takes the chicane nice and clean. Very nice racing here as Tim will look to take the advantage heading through turn 12 down towards turn 13, as I'm going to try, and I'm doing this all for our one breath on the opening lap. 0.2 second gap between these two drivers. Who will it be? Who will it be? Who will get the advantage as they head out of turn 13, heading through turn 14, 15, heading into the chicane at turn 16. Maybe a dive down the inside from Tim. Does not happen, but anything and everything can happen here, as Hard Luck does have a drive-through, so you got to expect him to come into the pits sometime soon. And to look like that driver in the back has a bad start, as Funny Light will lead us away. Currently P1, he has had an amazing start to this Grand Prix, as we see Tim making his way through the grid, trying to catch up to Airish in front. The BMW versus the Mercedes, both being German manufacturers. Who will get the better position here in home territory? As I need to stop so I can have a drink, so my throat does not dry up. as one thing to point out, as the car 762 does get his drive through cleared, as Tim is trying to chase down Airesh, but he needs to be aware of this man, Fazzy Binks. Of course, Fazzy Binks is actually off goes the Porsche of Sylph. Sylph not having the best day, unlike yesterday. He is gonna be mad at himself for that, going off the track and losing loads of time. But he has been overtaken by ex-Backham and Bray by the looks of it, as the timing board has yet to update. 0.2 second gap between Fazzy Binks and Tim right now. The Scuderia Ferrari looking to go against the German manufacturers, as it is basically as the two German manufacturers are BMW and Mercedes currently in a British and Italian sandwich. We've got the Italians as the bit like Europe realistically. You've got Italy on the bottom bread. You got Italy as the bottom bread. You got the Germans as the Germans as the cheese and the ham, whatever filling you may like, and then you got the British on top, like always, as the top bread. As Tim seeming to fall back now, seeming to lose out his advantage, with that gap slowly coming down, with it being at 0.19 seconds right now. You can see other drivers in the background there trying to make their way through the field, but no gap is closer than this. The Ferrari still looking to get the advantage. Fazzy Binks known for making some lovely moves, as he looks to get it done again here in Zolder, like he did around at Kyle Army. Maybe a move into a chicane would be lovely jubbly, sound as a pound, as I would like to thank the XCL mods for featuring me on the Instagrams and TikToks. As we have Fazzy Binks, 0.3 second now. His gap is slowly falling behind as Sylph right all over the back of Bray. As Sylph looks like the straight line speed of that Porsche make him into advantage, heading down towards turn 1. But it looks like he's going to have to stay behind for now, as that Porsche may be better in the corners, but it definitely doesn't have the advantage on the straights. That is all down to the Lamborghini, as we're going to head through turn 3 right now, maybe down into turn 4. It did look like Sylph was going to go for a move, however unable to at this time, as Sylph gets past Bray, actually, as Bray looked to have a bit of a disadvantage there. We didn't get the best camera angle, so apologies for not getting the best option on that, as we see Illuminato. He does cut the corner, and he's going to be battling I believe he's going to be battling Nen. Actually, no, he's going to be battling Bray, as Bray is going to be pissed off at that move he just did, and he's going to want to get that place back. As we've got many other drivers, one of these being clocked, as actually he has just got past Farah. As these timing balls don't update quick enough, and that is sadly one thing that we do have to put up with, as Super Corneous rounds out the top 10, and the top 10 order as it follows right now, as we actually see Nen. No, that is Bacco, I believe. No, that was Nen actually getting a nice move done there on Pulciemo, as he got the nice move done right there. This is what I mean, the timing balls need to update quicker, as we do have a driver in the pit lane. We have two drivers in the pit lane, actually. Many people going for that early pit stop. 0.3 second gap now separates Tim and Fazzy Binks. Just a few laps ago, that was 0.1. As actually Fazzy Binks all over the back of Tim right now. Timing board yet to catch up, but that happens when you head through a sector timing board, as Fazzy Binks looking to get the move done maybe once again, but still a bit too far back. He's going to have to recuperate and go again, as Tim now slowly catching up on Airesh, as they're going to head downhill into the woodlands of around the Zolder circuit. And here we go, trying to capture everything that is happening on the grid. One thing will also must be pointed out is Jokes wheel to wheel, side by side with Stig. Actually, we move to it as Jokes has a bit of damage. He's past Stig though. Didn't know the Stig was racing here in GT. I thought he was primarily for Top Gear, as they are going to go wheel to wheel, side by side through the chicane. It's what you love to see, but Jocks still ahead as we got CPX 1102. He is trying to catch up to those drivers in front of him as this is the battle unfolding right now, as it looks like Jacques looked to go for a move there, but Stig looking to get a move done in his good old Aston Martin. As very small gap between Stig and Jacques, but everything can happen as we wait to see what will happen here as the gap now looks to expand once again as we look back to see a battle unfolding here. Damn, as actually Stig may be looking for a move as they head into the chicane, but nobody's going to back out. He's not going to risk it as Jacques will come into the pit lane. I am not surprised with that damage he has accumulated. Fazzy Binks has actually, we've got a big old battle right here as we looked like Tim was going to go for it on Airesh. He doesn't get the advantage. Airesh down into the chicane, gets it done nice and clean. Tim takes advantage and so does Fazzy Binks. In a matter of one corner, Funny Light has gone from P1 to P4 as we wait for the timing board to update. Okay, not Funny Light, I should say. Okay, who was that? Somebody dropped back. Okay, something happened there. I actually have no idea. My apologies. There might have just been a lap car, but what a move by to go take those lap cars. That is my apologies because the game yet to update it properly. I have no idea who that was. My apologies. Might have had that up a bit too much. That was bloody beautiful heading through that chicane. As Tim will now look to chase down that BMW in front of him with Fazzy Binks close behind. 0.6 second gap between Illuminato, who goes for the move round the outside on as Illuminato and as he actually got that move done on braided Illuminato. Ex-Bacco now going to have to defend against the Ferrari behind him. Lamborghini and Ferrari, a big rivalry which can unfold here. 57 versus 33. Who will take advantage as we're going to head down towards the first chicane? Maybe quite a good overtaking opportunity if I do say so myself, as we see Sylph battling Jacques right now. That is happening further down the grid. It just shows how many people are lapped, as it looks like the battle up front is still going to be very tight as Sylph got past the driver in front of him, as Sylph up to P5 as I believe he did get past Ex-Bacco. My apologies for missing that, as it looks like we've got a nice little battle happening here as Tim Cho still trying to get past Sylph, slowly catching up to this, having that mistake at turn 13 earlier on in this race. As that is a car in the barrier, that is Hot Shots in the barrier, almost colliding with Ex-Bacco. I thought he was going to reverge on the track then and get some damage as Fazzy Binks is going to once again try to chase down that car in front of him. Unable to so far in that very nice looking livery. But of course, everything can change within a matter of a pit stop or an overtake. As Funny Light will continue on in this race and will continue to extend his lead to a 6-second gap now to P2. As Tim still trying to look for an overtake on Airesh, as we're going to look down the grid momentarily as Super Corneous looking to get past Nent, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen so far. 0.2 second is the gap now. Maybe a move into the chicane, heading down into the first chicane, as we will have to wait and see. As we will wait and see what will happen here as we are now approaching that halfway mark of this race with 18 minutes remaining, of course, 15 minutes being the halfway mark. 0.5 second gap between Tim and Airesh, and then a 5/10 gap between Fazzy Binks and Tim. I believe I've said 5 seconds between Airesh and Tim. My apologies, as Nent will get the move done on Super Corneous. Super Corneous still there in P9. Club rounds out the top 10, as it looks like we may have a battle unfolding here between some lapped car as Funny Light gets the fastest lap as the battle for the podium will continue, and Sylph slowly closes in on those drivers in front. So we will have to wait and see as Tim are currently trying to make his way around the track and chase down Airesh, slowly bringing down that gap to Airesh and slowly opening up that gap to Fazzy Binks. You got to wonder, is the fuel coming into play here? A 0.2 gap between Corneus right there. As this is a very close gap actually, Black and Dronelander, as Dronelander is now behind him, so a move was done there. This is why the timing board needs to update quicker, ladies and gentlemen. As we're going to see what the rest of the grid is doing as the gap does continue to close. So we will have to try and keep an eye on what is happening there, as maybe a gap will get done by MRT PX. He will continue on to get the move done, as Dronelander will make his way through the field, not having the best qualifying, but looking to recover. So we'll have to wait and see as the 420 of Rasputin will get the move done on, I believe that was Josh. No, that was just a move done on a lapped car. Very nice and smooth as Fazzy Binks now closing the gap down. I believe I missed it actually. I believe he's got past Tim. Yes, he has, or is Tim into the pit lane? Tim is into the pit lane. He will come in to get some good old fuel. Little bit of a splash and dash as Sylph and Fazzy Binks will now choose to take their cars, pedal to the metal, and continue on through this race and continue on as we got 16 minutes remaining of this racing session, as Sylph still trying to chase down these drivers in front of each other. Ex-Baco number 42, well on that it says 42, number 33 to be exact, as Tim has come in for his pit stop. He will not have to stop again, and Funny Light will look to lap the guys in front of him, as you can see him right there looking to lap him, as we see a driver off track there, as it just shows how quick Fazzy Light has been. Same with Arish actually. You see Arish in the background overtaking the lap car, same with Sylph, but the lap car of Josh is now between Arish and Funny Light, so that may become controversial at some point, as Clorpt now on the rear end of, no he's not, as he was on the back of somebody, no idea, wasn't paying attention, that's my bad. As we're going to look down the grid, many gaps seeming to be at just over a second. What about this gap? Bandolo, as we are now have 15 minutes remaining in this race around Zolder. What can be done, who will be done, and who will crash out, and who will tumble and fall, as maybe a commentary curse there, as Supercorn Corius just about catches the car, but he has had to drift back through the final chicane, not having the best race, and he has damage. I believe that is 2 cars off in the background there. You can see him have a chicane. Number 17. Who is number 17? Who is number 17? Who is number 17? As 34 will come into the pit lane. You saw 2 drivers off in the background there. Not the best race for them, as Sylph and Arish will continue on, as they now have, I believe that was Devil. Yeah, Devils will let them pass. He's gonna have to let Sylph pass maybe. No, he won't. He's gonna go argy-bargy. It's not Formula 1, so he doesn't have to let him pass. But it looks like Sylph will have to get past as quick as possible, because otherwise he is going to be losing out to Arish, as the 2 drivers make contact with the side of their car, wheels banging, nice and somewhat clean though, keeping it nice and steady, keeping both cars on the track. 4-4-3, losing out time to Arish. I believe the gap was 0.5. Now it is 2 seconds, as you've got to wonder when is Funny Light going to come into the pit lane, as he still has lots of drivers ahead of him, as you see a car there in the background. Who was that? Who was that? Who was that? I believe that was the number 4. No, it wasn't. We saw a car go into the barrier in the background there. You could just about see it, so that is my apologies, but I did not catch that. It's a bit harder to when you got a camera angle like this, as looking to go for a move. You see a driver go off track there. That will be Dronelander. He will come back onto the track, but he will stay out of the way of Sylph, as Dronelander not having the best of times, as Sylph now closing that gap down. It was 1 second at the start of this lap. Now it's down to 1.5, so Sylph closing into Arish at a rate of knots. That Porsche seeming to have the advantage around this German track over the BMW, as it looks like Sabre will look to get a move done on Melmsey. 0.1 is the gap now. Sabre sees Melmsey. Jake and Plan is further behind. His Plan seeming to not be very useful right now, as Sabre had a better race yesterday around Kyle Army. Then again, he has already made his pit stop as the number 30 car does get a 30-second stop and go penalty. That being, damn, a Sabre spins it. Sabre, he didn't get spun. I had to rewatch the replay on my stream. My apologies. He spins it round. He got spun round by the guy who was behind him. That is not going to be the best of times for him. He gets spun around at turn 1. That will most definitely be investigated by the stewards. As we're going to look to Tim right now, as the track seems to not load in quick enough. Tim cutting the corners, keeping it nice and clean, as Sylph slowly closing that gap. What about Tim though? He made his pit stop earlier on than most of the other drivers. So you got to wonder, does he have an advantage right here with a 22-second gap behind the leaders? And sorry, I just had to catch my breath there, as honestly I need to get more drinks. As Funny Lie is going to look to capitalise maybe and extend his lead. 2 seconds behind Eresh is Sylph now. He is not having the best of times. So we will have to wait and see what will happen here. As apologies, I just had to check my phone for a second, as I did get a Discord notification for it might be from the mods, but no, it wasn't. As we're going to head down towards turn number 13. Car number 2 gets a second stop and go penalty. Well, he has a stop and go penalty. He has 2 laps to serve it. Who is number 2? As apparently I made blind. Number 2, there he is. Damn is going to look to that, as Sylph will come into the pit lane. Let's see what he can do and how quick his pit stop will be done as he now comes into the pit lane. I should really get a timer on this, as I should really get a timer on my phone, but I'm too lazy to do that. No, I'm not. So next time somebody from the league comes into the pits, I shall get my stopwatch out and we shall see how long a pit stop takes here at Zolder. So Sylph comes into the pit lane. That is going to give Eresh and Funny Lie a chance to breathe. However, of course, Funny Lie is being held up by the traffic in front of him. That McLaren just taking it all the way to the checkered flag by the looks of it. As Tim is going to look to capitalise, as he is nowhere near Sylph. As car 74 has a drive-through for speeding in the pit lane. So that is going to be quite an interesting revelation. That being Drone Lander. Drone Lander not having the best of races tonight at Zolder. He definitely had one. He definitely had a better one last night at Kyle Army. As Eresh is now closing up to that gap. Now closing up to these drivers. That Funny Light is leading. Ex-Baco trying to make his way through as that is a driver off. That is a driver off in the background. I have no idea who that was. But that is car number 28. You can see it on the map as Eresh looks to come into the pit lane. I said this. I've got it up as the stopwatch now starts as Eresh pulls it into the pit lane. This is, of course, timing it from when they come into the pit lane to when they exit the pit lane. Eresh looking to come in for a quick splash and dash. As Eresh will exit the pit lane, that being a 40-second pit stop here at Zolder. It looks like Sylph is going to be coming round the first corner. It's going to be tight. Who's going to have the advantage? Looks like it will be Eresh. Sorry, I just had to catch my breath for a second there. Jesus Christ. As we will look to see what this man can do. as we're going to head through towards the end of the race. 7 minutes 40 seconds remaining in this race. We are now less than a third into this race. 40-second pit stop, man. 40-second pit stop here, as in comes Funny Light. I forgot to start the timer a little bit late there, so I'm going to add another 5 seconds onto the timer as we see what pit stop the leader of good old Funny Light will be able to do. As I'm going to see if I can find a gap to watch at this moment in time, as Claupt is going to be the one who is going to be leading, as it looks like the number 112 will make his way out the pit lane ahead of all the other drivers. And yes, he will. 32 second, just under 40-second pit stop there for him, as to number 28 gets a stop and go penalty. So we'll have to wait and see, as X-Baco currently P2, Fazzy Binks into the pits, Nen into the pits, Super Corpio into the pits, as X-Baco does take the lead on track due to Funny Light going into the pit lane. However, X-Baco, of course, still needs to make his mandatory pit stop, as well as Fair. So it's going to be quite interesting, as Airesh is now past the pit lane. So the game does need to update that on my timing screen, as that was a time penalty for, what was that for? Or was that a served? No, that is a stop and go penalty for car number 28 of VCX Racing. Not the best day for him, as Airesh and Sylph, they're right near each other. Looks like this is going to be a tight one, as Tim is trying to make his way through the field. But of course, this is the battle we want to watch. Sylph versus Airesh, as it looks like Thayer and Bandolo may go battling. Yes, they will, as Airesh and Sylph. Airesh gets past Sylph. Fish, as actually Fish not letting Sylph past. That is going to be quite controversial. Sylph maybe looking for a move down the inside. Does not go for it, as Bandolo is past, and he will continue to extend his lead, as Sylph still trying to get past Airesh. You can see him all over the back of that car, and this has been a battle that has evolved throughout this entire racing session, as we're going to head down towards the first turn again, heading onto the next lap with just over 5 minutes remaining in this race session. Of course, X-Baco into the pit lane. Funny Light, everybody else has passed him, so he will fall down the order. Sylph trying to catch up to Ares. 0.4 second is the gap. Another 0.4 second gap is Claupt on Jake in plan. The plan definitely working, as he's just outside the top 10. As disqualified by race control will be car number 2. So he has been DSQ'd from this session. That being damn, I'm going to guess that is for not serving a penalty that he was given, as trying to get past the lapped cars will go Airesh and Sylph. Sylph and Airesh looking to go wheel to wheel, side by side maybe. Sylph maybe looking for a move, as that is an absolutely terrible camera angle. Sylph did not go for the move. He will be there still, and he will not look to get the move done, as Tim is now arriving on the scene. As we still got a battle here, as it looked like that would be Jacques and Verschuler. I cannot pronounce that. That sounds German, so my apologies. As Sylph maybe will look to take advantage. Gonna head down towards the final chicane. Keep it nice and clean, please, boys. As he may look to get it done in the final lap, or he may look to get it done around the outside here. Maybe look for a switchback, does not get it done. 443 versus the double 4-3 Porsche, looking to get the move done on the single 4 BMW. As Airesh still here, he is trying to keep his head on, a swivel, keep on the P2, but Sylph is all over the back of him, and it may look like it, they will do it. Maybe look for a move around the outside, through turn 3 maybe through turn 4. Sylph just not having that speed on these longer straights, but maybe taking advantage here. May take advantage. Will he take advantage? Slots in, gets hit by a driver behind, that being Hushed Webb. He looked like Sylph was going to go for a move on Airesh, but that collision with Hushed Webb looking to maybe spoil his plans. 3 minutes remaining in this session, 1/10 of the race left to go, and Sylph will need to get this move done sooner rather than later, as we head down through turn as we head down through turn 11, down through turn 12, heading down towards the heavy braking zone of turn 13. Can he get the move done? Can he not? We'll have to wait and see, as it looks like he will not get the move done as the gap continues to open up. And it looks like he will not get it done. 0.5 second gap there now. What about Klorpt? And what about Jake in plan? Jake in plan losing the rear end right there. Klorpt will take advantage. Peter Bucky moving out of the way, keeping it nice and clean for these two drivers to battle. Klorpt goes off the track, hits the barrier. Klorpt's race has gone from hero to absolute zero as he looked for the move, absolutely bottles it and sends his car into the barrier. Inside the top 10 still, but he is going to be pissed off at that. As actually, Klorpt will actually drop outside the top 10 now, I believe, as we move back to this battle between Silf and Eresh. As Resputin actually there, as Silf just continuously closing that gap through Sector 2 by the looks of it, and through Sector 3. So Eresh gaining that gap on through the final between in the first throughout the final chicane and through the first few corners. But then Silf balls it, goes off the track, hits the barrier. You can see the damage to the left hand side of the car. You gotta wonder if that is Silf's race, if that is Silf's charge over, and if Tim will take advantage. What is happening here? Many drivers crippling under the pressure in the dying stages of these laps, as Bray may be looking to get a move done on Fairer. The Lamborghini looking for a move on the Scuderia Ferrari down the inside through turn 2. Absolutely lovely. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound. What a move there by that Lamborghini. Leader is on the final lap of the race as well, so you got to wonder if anything will happen. Illuminato looking for a move on Klorpt as well, by the looks of it, as the camera angle not the best here. As here we go, Klorpt looking for a move, as Illuminato did get past Klorpt. Cameraman absolutely terrible at his job, as the checkered flag will fall in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the checkered flag does now fall, so these will be the final laps. Funny Light has done all he has to do, and he will go all the way to the checkered flag, losing the lead only after having to make a pit stop where he would not lead for no less than 2 laps. He has done everything he has needed to do, and it's been absolute domination as he comes round the final corner. Funny Light will win the XCL GT3 Open Series Zolder Grand Prix, and he absolutely deserves it with the 1-1-2 McLaren pulling over to the side. Eresh spins his car around the final corner. He will look to, and Eresh and Silf battling all the way through, but Silf crippling under the pressure. He comes on P3. Tim will come on P4, unable to catch up, as any more gaps behind, it doesn't look like it. A driver did get disqualified. What about Saber though? Will Klorpt cripple under the pressure like many others have, as the cameraman will look to get it done maybe, as Saber looking for a move on Klorpt maybe, through the final chicane. The 037 versus the 789. Mega move! Final lap! It's going to be a drag race to the line. Saber comes home ahead of Klorpt. Final lap overtake in the final corner. It's only for P13. Unlucky for some, but that is mega lucky for Saber, as Klorpt had a stop and go penalty to serve apparently. But what a move by Saber, and he deserves all the credit for that. As Dan would get disqualified, who is yet to finish. Stig, you should be in top gear, mate. Don't know what you're doing in the XCL series. if you get that reference, then you are a Chad. As CPX 1102 will come across the line to come home P25. And Stig, where's he at? Stig has retired into the pit lane, so that is your finish in order. Funny Light wins the Zolder Grand Prix with Eresh and Sylph rounding out the podium. Hello Tom, welcome in. You've tuned in just as we finished, or have you been here the entire time, mate? Let me know. But what an amazing race. And honestly, Funny Light driver of the day for coming home P for having an absolute domination race. But Sabre, even though it was just outside the top 10, what a move on the final lap for P11. What a move. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for XCL tonight. Funny Light will come home P1 with Eresh P2 and Sylph P3. It's then Tim, Binks, Exbaco, Bandolo, Melmsey, Jake Implan and Illuminato will round out the top 10. Sabre comes home P11 with an amazing move on Clorpt on the final lap. Clorpt will finish P12 then. It will be Rasputin, Bray, Thayer, Hushed Web, can't pronounce that, Jocks, Pulcinello will come home P19 and CPX will come home P20. It's then, and okay, looks like we only got the top 20 in, boys. As, ladies and gentlemen, we do thank you for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much for sticking through the entire race, if you have. And if you want to watch the action live, it will be in the comment section. It will be in the bio of this video. Of course, that will be up shortly after the race, about half an hour to an hour. That is XCL TV on YouTube if you want to rewatch the race without the ad break in the middle. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, I do thank you for tuning in this evening. And once again, YouTube, this is where it ends. But for those here on Twitch, please do stick around. We're going to raid somebody. And if you guys were here yesterday, you know who we're going to raid, because they raided me yesterday. Left me absolutely flabbergasted. And I've got to repay the favour. They're playing Power World, so it's a bit of a chiller stream. Of course, we're going to be raiding Fee. So please do stick around for the raid, as I accidentally clicked X. That's my bad. We're going to try that again. Absolutely bottled that. So ladies and gentlemen, we do thank you for sticking around. We're going to go raid Fee. So please do stick around for the raid and go show Fee some love. So thank you for tuning in. This has been XCL TV. I've been Zalexi. Good night.